Stock market investors, welcome back to the channel. Boy, oh boy, Palantir stock got absolutely obliterated today. Is SoFi going to be next? Both of these stocks over the last year or two have been flying to the stratosphere, but OMG, what a crazy day. Take a look at your screen right now. Boy, oh boy. And the bleeding continues after hours, down another 1.5%. Look at this bloodbath, man. Over the last 5 days, stock is down 18% in the last 5 days. Wow. Unbelievable. So what's going on right now, man, with Palantir stock, right? Palantir stock slumps 9%, falling for fifth straight day from record, right? Palantir stock fell for the fifth straight day after touching new highs earlier this month. The artificial intelligence software provider had a stellar earnings report. They raised guidance, first ever $1 billion revenue quarter. I mean, this company is crazy. So is this a potential buying opportunity for Palantir stock? Palantir is the most significant gainer to date in the S&P 500 this year, with shares more than doubling. Crushed it, guys. Crushed it this year. But man, the bleeding is real. But we take a look at Palantir stock. I mean, the PE ratio is so crazy. 524. If we compare that to SoFi stock, it's at 46, right? So will SoFi stock be very similar to Palantir stock and kind of just tumble and get back to a more appropriate valuation? I don't think we're going to see the bleeding as similar as Palantir. I mean, this stock has been running. I mean, a $50 billion valuation to a $400 billion valuation in what, a year? That's crazy, guys. Trailing PE 580, forward PE 277, PEG ratio 4.59, price to sales 127.7, price to book at almost a 70. I mean, we take a look at SoFi statistics, guys, and they're not even remotely close. These are two totally different companies. Obviously, AI with Palantir, and SoFi is more of like a fintech play, right? So if we take a look at the statistics from SoFi stock, I mean, the trailing PE, forward PE, not even close. Price to sales at 9.30. That's really high. Very high, but when you look at the price to sales to freaking Palantir, 127, price to book 69. I mean, SoFi looks like it's trading on pennies to the dollar. But if we take a little deeper look into their valuation, they have $6 billion in cash. $6 billion in cash. Palantir does, guys. It's crazy. $200 million in debt is like, they could spit on that. They could pay that off tomorrow. Levered free cash flow over the last 12 months, $1.27 billion. So Palantir is in an incredible financial position. When you're taking a look at $6 billion in cash, that is crazy. We're taking a look at some of these articles, why Palantir stock is sinking. Palantir is getting hit with a big valuation pullback today, and its stock ranks as one of S&P's worst daily performers, right? Macroeconomics has a little bit to do with it as well, but really, Citron, a notable short seller, came out and said the valuation is getting out of control. Citron says Palantir is overpriced compared to OpenAI. I definitely think Palantir is a way better company, than OpenAI in my opinion, but, Citron's latest report used the $500 billion valuation of OpenAI, a leader in the AI space, as a point of comparison to show that Palantir stock's price may be too high. The short-selling firm noted that OpenAI's valuation translates to a price to sales nearly 17 times. Meanwhile, Citron estimates Palantir's 2026 revenue at $29.6 billion, right? So, by applying OpenAI's price to sales to Palantir's projected revenue, the firm calculated an implied Palantir stock price of about $40 per share, much lower than its $162 stock price. Yikes, guys. So what's going on? Can Palantir stock rebound? I think it's probably going to settle in that 120 to 140 range. But, it's at 150 right now. It's been getting torn up. But as you can see with, some of the pullbacks of this stock that have happened over the last, year or so, we've seen a lot of sharp downturns, as you can see by these little downturns here and here and here, only to just rise up again, right? So we've seen, 15 to 20% pullbacks, and then we've seen the stock rebound. After hours, $155 per share. I am adding on these dips a little bit, especially as we get below 20% from all-time highs. All-time highs come in at like 187, right? If we take a look at the past month, we are down, around 16% or so. It's trading lower than it was before the most recent earnings, and the earnings were really, really, really good for Palantir stock, right, guys? So just keep an eye on it. Buying any stock at a 500 PE is always a little bit risky. So I think SoFi is definitely, a better buy at these prices. But remember, SoFi was down 6% as well today, right? So some of these high flyers could see a pullback, over the next coming weeks, right? From $24 down to $22. It's been a roller coaster ride over the last month or so for SoFi, from 20 up to 24, coming back down in the $22 range. I think SoFi, especially with that $1.5 billion offering, and a lot of institutional investors have been buying lately. I just did a video on that. I'll leave a link to that in the description down below. We just crossed 50% institutional ownership, over 600 million shares. The bigger and bigger these positions get, the better it is for SoFi and its investors, guys. Citadel's on here. Charles Schwab Management increased their position by 2%, right? Marshall Wace LLP increased by 88%, coming in around 8 million shares. Jane Street Global Group, really, really increased their position by 133%. That's what we want to see, guys. That's what we want to see. Some of the biggest shareholders, JP Morgan Chase increased by 10%. ARK Investment Management increased their position by 118%. They now own 4.4 million shares of SoFi stock. Cubist is become a top 20 investor with these 4 million shares they just most recently bought. And then Bit Capital, just 3 million, almost 4 million call options. I'm very excited right now, guys. The iShares Russell Midcap ETF increased their position by 4%. Once we start getting in these funds and these ETFs, man, we're really going to start to see this number that I was talking about earlier, this institutional ownership. I want it to be over 60% and then 70%. A lot of these banks, institutions own the majority of these shares, guys. So it's really exciting news. They just crossed an insane number of shares owned by institutions. 600 million, guys. That gets us back over the 50% threshold here for SoFi ownership. Institutional value, big numbers, guys. Big numbers here. We could see, what's that, $10 billion? Woo! Baby, big time investments coming in each and every week. And man, we really bucked the trend here, guys. Pretty much, all year we've seen a downtrend in institutions shaving off shares. And then, boom! Yeah, baby. In August, we've seen that huge leap in institutional ownership, bringing us over 600 million shares owned, by institutions for the first time in the history of SoFi stock. But over the past 6 months, it was the first time in a long time we've seen a consistent downtrend, right? Really significant downtrend. If you look over the last several years, we haven't really seen a consistent downtrend. We've seen some, stabilizing of the institutional ownership, some ticks down. Here's a big tick down, but that all kind of happened at once, and we kind of stayed flat for a while. Then we had increase for a couple of years, and then we saw that, 6+ months of a downtrend coming down. But man, we really bucked that trend, guys. Huge milestone for SoFi and its investors. The stock's trading around $23, which is nothing to sneeze at, considering, we were right around $7 not too long ago, a little more than a year ago, right? So 600 million, huge milestone. owned by institutions for SoFi stock. So that is a good sign moving forward, guys. So where do we go from here? I think SoFi probably settles in that $20 to $22 range. I think we could trade flat pretty much the rest of the year, in my opinion, maybe till next earnings. We always see a run up with Palantir and SoFi stock as we get closer and closer to earnings. And August and September are notably not great for stocks, so take that into consideration, guys. Palantir is a buy for me under $120. I'm being cautious with it right now because this selling could continue. All right, guys, that's it for me today. I want to talk to you guys about SoFi stock and Palantir stock. Man, Palantir, what a crazy day today. You know, down over 12% in one day. I mean, over the last 5 days, down almost 20%, guys. Absolute bloodbath. We'll see if this weakness continues, right? Could be a buying opportunity long term for Palantir. I don't expect the acceleration in revenue and profits to slow down anytime soon. So I'm a buyer under $120 for Palantir, under $20 for SoFi stock. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.